I would just need to put biosamples onto the network, and fish oil, I have fish. So, yeah. Do two tabs, yes, two separate tabs, one with the cubs and one direct. Now, the thing about the and yeah, you've wanted to do this before. So I need to, well, I need to determine what recipe to get the eggs out of first. So, uh, let's actually do the quality food this time. Um, I need Arthurian eggs in abundance anyway, so we'll do the food. We'll do the method with the food. Um, the best method I have available to me currently for the food. Everything else requires pheromones here. Granted, I could get pheromones, but we'll leave it at this one for the moment. I have all of these things on my network already, so this just brings in. I don't need to make this locally. The only thing I make locally would be the actual food itself, and I might end up having a separate food factory anyway, doing a bunch of foods. But we shall see about that. I'm not too sure at this point. Probably just gonna have the food local, um, and bring in the other stuff. Guts, though, that's the only like thingy that would be slightly complicating. What would the intended output be on these eggs? Let's just sure. Let's go nuts and be like, hey, give me 15 of these. I'm gonna need another thingy that has the Arthurian modules, a bunch of them, and then applies those by default. Only 8. Wow. All right. Sure. 133 Mark 1 buildings. That's for 15 per second. That's not bad. It could be better, but that's not bad by comparison to other things trying to get 15 per second. It's like that's not a number in the 300 range plus. So okay, fine. It is 5. It is 4.29 of my cotton guts. Bear in mind that I'm making 15 per second cotton guts currently, and up to 30 per second of the cotton guts. So, yeah, it's a few. That's not much when using this particular recipe, although that 2.15 on the food, that's 2 of those buildings making a lot of stuff there. Meat and guts. I actually might not even have enough fish for the fish oil. Excuse me? Oh, there you are. Hello. 1 fish. Okay, I guess. Caged Og. I don't have the upgrade. I don't have the upgrade, I guess. Extract Og meat 2 goes from 8 to 16. Wow. Og meat 1 goes up to 14? Really? Wow, I really need that tech. Wow, I really need that tech. Holy crap. So we go from 8 to 14 and then 16. Wow. Og meat and fish guts. Well, okay. Let's do a comparison though. Og would be 3 gut. That would go up to 6 and then 8. Uh, fish fish gut would require 3.43 on fish. That would require 3.43 fish per second for that many guts. No. Versus the Og, 0.72. It is more og, but I mean, it's like, okay, well, we now require like 1.25 flat on the ogs. Like, I mean, okay, sure. Like I'm pretty comfortable with like doing that recipe. Kill Mukmo, right? As if, although that is 76. That is 76 Mark IIs. All right, let's not look at Ogs then. So no, not you. So Ogs base 8, Mukmo base 5 on meat. Oh boy. Okay, so the meat is strictly better off of the Ogs. Interesting. The guts though, the guts is 8 off of the Mukmo base. Uh, can't really get any of these other recipes, by the way, because these are purple science and utility science, I think, respectively. Mukmo would be 0.27, right? Ulrich are piling up. Yeah, right. Yeah. So that's a few, but it's a very basic recipe. Same here. It's like, okay, that's a few, but it's a very basic recipe. I'm this is a big scale, fifth, like just keeping in mind 15 per second here. Just 15 per second is the full output of this nonsense. So, yeah, about that. All right. If so that's the goal, right? That's like the goal. We can like break down the moss and the Baugi and the Relesia and all that, but speaking of Relesia, probably a good time to do a Relesia factory. Like, I mean, come on. Like, yeah, dedicated Relesia factory. That needs to happen at some point very soon. Let's see, biosamples. That is a lot. Uh, biosamples on network. And when I use the word network, I mean the train network, the TSM network. Um, yeah, I think this looks fine. I think this looks fine as it is. Eh. Thalgi, of course, is pretty much always going to be local. Out of spores. Out of the point 0.6 recipe. Uh, and I can just ignore the rest, right? I am calculating with the Mukmo Mark 1 building. For a reason. Like, I'm not making Mark 2 Mukmo. That is a thing that I have noticed. Do you see Mark 2? There, I can make the Mark 2 faster, yes, but that is not going to. I'm not going to physically have these for quite some time. Even if I set this up to start now, I'm not going to physically have these for a while. Yes, it would be more modules as Mark II pastures, but and yes, I need to get more Mark II pastures anyway because I need to upgrade this 112 Mukmo pastures to Mark II, as well as like all of the Relesia stuff to Mark II, and all this needs to expand. We'll need more of this. But yeah, stuff, things. scaling and all of that. Okay. Moving on from here, because I, like, no matter what, I mean, even if I just don't do the quality food, like, think of it this way. All of this is just what would be required to do the quality food. It's like, if I didn't do the quality food, like, what's the regular food? It's like, well, what's the regular food look like? It still needs meat anyway. So, okay. Still need the meat, regardless. And these are of sufficient size of builds that I would probably consider just making an Og meat factory and making a Muckmo gut factory at this point. These will probably be separated out. So, by the way, in case you're wondering, what we're doing right now is we're planning the next 12 to 20 streams ahead of us, right? So right now, our path to cotton guts are done. Next is the path to Arthurians and like getting a whole bunch of other like related things that I've needed to do for a while out of the way. This is going to be the next several weeks of streams. Getting to the point of having Arthurians and then using the Arthurians for what I need to use the Arthurians for will come after that as well. So it's like all of this stuff is stuff that will need to be done anyway, and I'm probably going to get it done before actually fully setting up the Arthurians. But for now, so then I'll have eggs, right? But I need to get actual Arthurians to this needs to cycle somehow, which means that I need to look at two things. I'm going to look at the growing of the Arthurians into cubs, and I'm going to look at the direct recipe from eggs. So cubs, and then raising the cubs versus come on, do your thing. Versus just raising directly, which the only recipe I have access to on this direct raising right now, just because for some reason, these caged recipes don't happen to unlock until you actually pick up Arthurians 2, and Arthurians 3, and Arthurians 4. So this is the best recipe I currently have access to here. And if we do an even comparison on a product of 1 per second here between these two processes. No, I don't want that to be the output. I want that to be the output. That first. Yes, that is what I need. So, 1 egg per second in versus 1.43 egg per second in, and 177 pens and 572 of the cotton gut. So let's see that compared to that. That with those inputs compared to that with those inputs. Yeah, I think I have a good idea of which process I would rather use. Granted, this is fetal serum, which means it's guts and silver and glassware to make that much stuff. It's actually 2 biofactories worth to get that much fetal serum in the end. But yeah, sure. Sure, I can do this. More importantly, though, so this is what, like, arbitrary, choosing to do the 1 per second here. It's pretty arbitrary. I can do this in my mall. Here. Like, this is something I can set up over these next 10 minutes. And I think I'll do exactly that. I will do exactly that. So, let's grab some Arthurian pens. And the Mark II creature chambers. And apparently an extra 2 biofactories. So, the Arthurian pens are here. Grab some of those. Grab those. And grab those. Now, over here, I have fetal serum, but clearly I will need another machine. Yes, I can do Mark II machines. Yes, the cub wins. In this particular instance, where I am not making Arthurians to slaughter. In this very specific instance, where I am not making Arthurians to slaughter, but am making them for modules, I would say that this wins. I would say probably just in general, this will win. Overall, over, just scale, like just scale to look at here, and you also have to consider, okay, I'm now spending an additional 5.72 cottongut to have a 70% chance of getting a single caged Arthurian at 177 times 8 modules to make this operate. So, yeah, growing the cub is significantly better than this. At this phase of the game where I'm looking at this for the first time and comparing these. So you're saying you did the balance right. I'm actually saying that you did the balance too right. Yeah. Because honestly, I would rather this cost. What do you mean recipe had no cage input? What? Oh yeah, there's no cage input here. Oh yeah. By the way, there's no cage input here. We're making a caged Arthurian without a cage. He likes it. He likes having a caged Arthurian without a cage. The problem is you get the cage back if you solder it. Just gonna look at the other ones. Yeah, so that doesn't require the cage. Nothing. Literally nothing. None. None of the caged Arthurian recipes require cages as an input. Not a single one. So that should help tell you where the issue lies. Because all of these recipes are programmatically made. They're not manually defined. Like, none of these recipes are just manually defined. It's more like add such and such to the base recipe. So the problem is with the base recipe. Yes, cage-free Arthurians. Yes, it will be fixed. There is another cub recipe for what? Another cub recipe for what? To what are you referring on this other cub recipe? Let's see, this is for Arthur, like, I see one cub. I see one. And I see this caged Arthurian from cubs, if that's what you're referring to, that I don't have the tech for yet. Which is taking 10 cubs and making 20 caged, if that's what you're referring to. But that's growth factor and resveratrol, and I guess that'd be useful, but I'm not at growth factor yet. / resveratrol. I mean, I could make the resveratrol, I think, right now, but I can't make the other thing. You there will go like that. No. Pipe. Proper pipe. And that will be that. And that'll make the stuffs. Because it appears as if I may have guts and silver. Let's do that. Make sure I always have guts. I apparently don't have guts. And this is getting to that point where I have to, like, have another major look at just what am I doing with all of the stuff and things lately. It's like, this is no longer sufficient quantities of stuff. And another one of those instances where I need more barrels. We need more barrels. Oh noes. This is this is an instance of I need more barrels. More barrels are required. Go, do your thing. Let the barrels flow freely. Yeah, you can see that how there's just not enough in this middle line of the barrels. Wow, that took all of the barrels. Okay, then. Sure. That was a few. It looks like I finally have that. So that should help a little bit. A little bit. Right. I am attempting to do this in these next couple moments. In these next 3 minutes before the end of the stream. These will all do stuff. Things. Caged Arthurians from cubs. Ish. I'm not probably gonna have 1 per second of them. That actually seems like a terrible idea. I would absolutely not have that much stuffs. Down we go. Ta-da! Alright. Requester stations, no. Requester chest, provider chest. Input, output, do the thing, paste several times. Provide sufficient amounts of power. And then I need to actually make eggs in the first place. Which will be some pens. Remember that I only have 25. Where'd they go? I'm not carrying them, am I? Because of course I'm not carrying around the Arthurians that I desperately need. They are here. Take those Arthurians. Doinky, doinky, doinky. That leaves me with 1 whole module. Alright, so the question of the day is Arthurian food. It gives me 1 whole unit at 10 seconds by making the food. So I'm going to say no to the food. Whole 0.09. Yeah, we can like run 1 of these. And that's it. And it needs the actual cotton guts. So, time to extend this train station yet again. Oh boy. Time to extend this train station again. Again! We shall do this. Yes, yes, stuff things. I know. You are complaining. More cotton guts! Bring me the cottonest of guts. That should work. The trains are arriving. And I should have the Rauk cocoons and the bedding. I don't have the Rauk cocoons. Is that fish 1, actually? Hold up. Fish 1. Oh, 1. What are you? Cages. That's not operating. What? Anyway, so. Again! Let's get this wrapped up. Rauk cocoon. The rockiest of cocoons. Come to the... Yeah, why no cages? Okay, I have a train with cages. Alright, fine. I will rename the thing, and here comes the train. TSM. I hate you sometimes. Oh, I can get rid of these. These can go back from whence they came. Da 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 da. Donkey, donkey, donkey. Power, power, power. Yeah. So. Now we wait. Right, that needs the... That grows the cubs. I then need the incubator. The incubator. 16 of them, apparently. Don't have Mark II incubators right now. I do have the building recipe on the incubator, I think. Yeah, I have the recipe here, but again, it's like, do I do the thing? No, yes. Maybe? I don't know. You there. Bump, bump. 5, 5. I'll keep it like that for now. I do not have the ability to do all 16 of those. at the moment. Really, water. Alright, water, 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 water. I'm doing this as quickly as possible because it is now past time by 5 minutes for ending the stream. I'm sure no one has any complaints whatsoever that I am 5 minutes over. Like, that is not a thing I'm sure people have any complaints about. But I wanted to set this up today just to be like, hey, we've got Arthurians. We've technically done Arthurian eggs today. Like, can you believe it? We've technically we've done the Arthurian eggs. I can't believe it myself. Why? Oh, right. They need to request from the buffer to actually get the water delivered. They're alive! They're operating! Notice how they're eating meat. They are eating meat. Now, one key thing about Arthurians. If you render Arthurians, they give you 2 brains. So these things have 2 brains. In the base recipe, you get even more brains as you get your tech upgrades. But yeah, they've got an extra brain in them, so they end up being the intended source of getting extra brains. The main issue with them, of course, being that they're sort of consuming other creatures, and this is why they've been rebalanced now. Why this even exists in the first place, because the way it was before is they were eating like muckmo and Oggs, and it's like, okay, so I've had this other creature that's feeding into this creature, so it's like you're spending a brain to be able to get 2 brains. Didn't make too much sense at the time. It's like, well, okay, why am I spending 2 brains, or spending a brain to then get 2 brains? Could I have not just had 2 of the thing that fed the thing to get my 2 brains? Seemed a little off. But yeah, so these exist. Here, have more sufficient quantities of stuff. Why no meat? Why no meat there? Hey, buddy. Oh, hey, I don't have any meat. I don't have any meat. Oh boy. Have some meat. Everyone gets some meat today. Right. That would help. So, we are making our first 4 cubs. These need 10. It's like, we need 10 total cubs. I want to see this, by the way, happen. In fact, I'm probably just going to delete those 3. I can close this. Oh, right, power. Power is good. I like power. Power is pretty good stuff. Stuffs? Ah, there we go. It's cycling! It's doing a cycle! We'll have 10 caged Arthurians. It's going to end as soon as this cycle goes. And we have caged Arthurians. So I can say we made progress today at like 10 minutes over. But hey, we did the thing. Yay! Caged Arthurians. So, with that, folks, now that we are very much over time on this Thursday. What did we get done today? Oh joy. So we started off the day by starting the process of getting Mark II Relesia ish. I never did finish this, did I? Oh, I never did put an output on it. Oops. So, you know, technically started the Relesia. Like, there goes the whole point of having it operating the whole time. Oops. Oopsies. Well, we've got fertilizer through another method. I can say that, at least. Then went through, extended the rails. So now this intersection down exists. This didn't exist before, and this intersection over exists. So now the Moondrop has an easier escape to where it's needed at the mall, when it gets requested, and then it can go back this way. So stuff is using this now. And then built the cottongut factory. The long-awaited cottongut factory has been built today from nothing into the everything. 15 per second of those cotton guts. And then we have ended off today by producing greater than 0 Arthurian eggs, and are then maturing those Arthurian eggs into cubs, and then growing those cubs into caged Arthurians. And we now have more caged Arthurians than the Arthurians that we started with. Oh boy. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. And this is the humble beginnings of what will be a much larger, eventually, a much larger Arthurian build. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have these caged Arthurians. They're going to accrue, and I'm going to leave them accrued. And I'm going to give them time to accrue. And from there, the next time we meet, we will not be touching Arthurians. The next time we meet, I need to add something here. Next time we meet, I'm going to work on something else. In fact, next time we meet, I think it's going to be the dedicated Relesia factory. That will be the first thing, and then I need to get to work on scaling these other things. And you know, I probably going to start. You know, I need a meat factory. I need a guts factory, and I need to get some of this stuff off of the mall, right? I need to make these sorts of factories and have them not be here, to the point where it's like, okay, I'm going to do all of this next. And you know what? I think the very first thing is probably going to be the meat factory, and I'll do that next time. Yes, screw the Relesia. We're doing a meat factory next time, and it's going to make like 30 per second of meat because I hate not having enough of the meat. And then I get to like stop all of the meat production here in the mall. Just cut it off completely. Stop doing full rendering of the OGs that are here, and I can actually have other things made out of that here. And then we can do the same thing with a Mukmo Guts factory, making like 30 or whatever, and things will be good. We've got stuff to do. Things must be done. And they will get done at some point. With that, folks, I would absolutely like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. If you have been watching the VODs on YouTube, please be sure to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you are so inclined, head on over to twitch.tv/OtakuShowboat to leave a follow to be notified when I go live Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. You can do all of the social stuff through the links in the description below the video, / below the video on Twitch as well. including supporting Pyandon's monster development at patreon.com/Pyandon and myself at patreon.com/Otaku Showboat. I will, of course, be back on Sunday, where we've got some slaughtering factories to build. Yay! I hope to, of course, see you all then.